images. The athlete maintains photos of fallen soldiers aren't political propaganda. Jonathan Savage, Fox News.
The U.S. just won gold and silver in the women's skiing moguls. Team USA now has 10 medals at the Winter Olympics in Italy. I'm Dave Anthony. This is Fox News.
Active Liver from New Nordic protects your liver so you can enjoy life to the fullest. Online at Amazon or in stores at CVS, Wegmans, and now GNC.
Your 710 KURV AccuWeather forecast. Mostly sunny skies. Highs of 84 to 89. Will be clear tonight, lows in the mid-60s. Tomorrow, sunshine and warm again. Highs in the mid to upper 80s. The wind picks up on Friday. Partly sunny, highs 82 to 87. Will approach 90 in some areas over the weekend. I'm AccuWeather meteorologist Bill Danker on the Valley's official weather station, 710 KURV.
Don Huffines is a successful businessman who stands with President Trump to enforce our immigration laws and put Texas first. As a senator, Don Huffines exposed a multi-million-dollar government corruption scandal and sent 6 crooks to prison for stealing our tax dollars. As our comptroller, Don Huffines will bring a private sector mindset to government. He'll doge waste, fraud, and abuse, eliminate all taxpayer-funded benefits to illegal aliens, and abolish every woke DEI program in every government agency in Texas. Don Huffines is the only Trump Republican running for Texas comptroller. That's why he's endorsed by Senator Ted Cruz and every major conservative group in Texas, including Texas Right to Life and Gun Owners of America. Don Huffines, the Trump Republican for comptroller.
Political ad paid for by the Don Huffines campaign.
The 710 KURV People Poll is brought to you by Total Imaging Solutions, the home of copiers. Fixed within 4 hours.
Texas Republicans. President Trump has been betrayed by failed politician Mayra Flores. Listen for yourself.
President Trump, make plenty of mistakes. President Trump, make plenty of mistakes.
Mayra Flores keeps running for Congress and losing, underperforming President Trump. Now records reveal why. Mayra Flores has been caught in a scheme paying herself and family over $150,000 with campaign funds, enriching herself at South Texas expense. Betrays Trump, enriches herself. We can't trust failing Mayra Flores. That's why President Trump has endorsed conservative fighter Eric Flores, an Army infantry captain. Eric Flores fought for his country, took on the cartels as a federal. Eric never backs down from a fight. Trump gives Eric his complete and total endorsement. Trump said Eric's an America First patriot who will secure the border, champion law enforcement, and who will never let you down.
I'm Eric Flores, and I approve this message.
Paid for by Eric Flores for Congress.
Broadcasting from the Valley's commercial and fleet headquarters studio at PayneAutoGroup.com. You're listening to News Talk 710 KURV. From the Radio United Broadcast Center, this is the Sergio Show. Talking about the news headlines and topics that affect you. And now, the Sergio Show with Sergio Sanchez.
The time is 9:08, and we're broadcasting this edition of the Sergio Show. News Talk 710 KURV. We're just down the street from HQ, from the mothership. We're at the gorgeous Convention Center in McAllen. The big, beautiful McAllen Convention Center. A little fact you probably didn't know. You know that so-called Big Beautiful Bill? Yeah, it was named after the McAllen Convention Center, the big, beautiful McAllen Convention Center. No, it's not. Very few people. Freddie, I was waiting for like a sad trombone or something. Whack, 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 something like that. Producer Fred Cruz back at the mothership. Right next door in Mission, where Mission meets McAllen. Yeah. Thank you, Freddie. We'll be talking a lot about 2025 and 2026 in our city of McAllen. Our mayor, Javier Villalobos, will be joining folks who are sponsors and supporters of. They have 1,000 plates. 1,000 people will be fed, not chicken. Javi, my buddy, man, he went beef. We got like short ribs or something like that today on the menu, the supporters. And we're going to hear about all the accomplishments and projects from 2025 and 2026. Javier Villalobos, our mayor, joining everybody here around noontime for that big lunch. And we'll be hearing on this program from various chiefs at City Hall, from engineering, what I have here, parks, the airport, and the convention center as well. I was reminded of how important our convention center in McAllen was during COVID. And well, we need to fill the convention center in McAllen with conventions and special events. And things are real good right now in McAllen, as reflected in the economy, the rest of the economy, real good in the rest of the valley right now. So my first guest, by the way, and you'll be hearing from them in a little bit, also looking at the economy on the front lines of capital, providing capital for many of the major projects in the area. I want to say a very special thank you to Ford Sasser and all the folks at Rio Bank. In large part, they're responsible for having us on the road today at the McAllen Convention Center. Thank you to all the family at Rio Bank for today's broadcast. Eduardo Mendoza is the director of the engineering department for our city of McAllen. Ed, thanks for being with us today. Congratulations on all the different projects that we see in the city of McAllen. I want to ask you, because for all the folks working for a living, tuning into the radio version of this right now, your engineering department, are you continuously actively involved in what we see off the freeway? For example, 10th and the expressway, we got the phallic property being developed. There's a lot of infrastructure, I'm sure, related to that. And the old Bowie Reservoir, that seems like it has like one big pool in the middle, right? They're digging a big hole in the ground for that one. We're looking for that. Your office actively involved in that, I'm guessing, right?
Yes, so the engineering department actively handles critical infrastructure for the city. And as part of that, we handle development. We work with the planning department, our building officials, and our environmental service division. And so through that, we look at critical infrastructure. As you mentioned, Bowie and the 10th and the expressway, we have development there. They're going to be shining developments for the city of McAllen. We hope to get them online soon. And so we've been working really hard on those.
A little bit about yourself. How long you been with McAllen?
So I've been going on 23 years. This is my 24th year with the city of McAllen. I started at the traffic department, and then several years back, I moved over to the engineering department.
So in your studies, was that your specialty, where you have the city planning, engineering, things like that, and what you prepared for?
Definitely. So my engineering background helped me in development, and I've been working in development for over 23 years now.
Yeah, you're a McAllen boy, right?
I'm from Hebronville originally, but I've been living here longer in the valley now, 23 years.
So you went from a rancho to the big city, which is McAllen. Well, in these 23 years being at the department, at the engineering department with the city, quite the evolution, right? Here in McAllen, in the valley, quite the evolution of the market.
Tremendous growth throughout the whole RGV, but especially McAllen. If you look at the amount of permits that we put through year in, year out, it's tremendous growth. And that's just a testament to the hard work that the employees at the city of McAllen put forward. And we continue. Today, you're going to hear the mayor talk about some special projects, and it's just exciting to hear that new news. The mayor's going to wow the RGV today.
Excellent. We talked off air a little bit. You mentioned the drainage fee. Describe that for me, which is probably on our water bill, I'm guessing, right? The drainage fee, and how much you got, how is it being applied in the community?
So right now, we assess a drainage fee based on impervious area for residential and commercial developments. Right now, we have over $9 million that is used for that. I'll tell you right now, one amazing project that we've going to do a ribbon cutting or groundbreaking on is the McAllen Lateral Channel that's up just north of Wisconsin between Main and 2nd Street. We're about to widen that ditch. That's a $6.5 million project. We have two other projects that we closed last year or are closing is the Balboa Pump Station and the Balboa Sluice Gate in the Balboa area. Those are $1 million apiece. So when you look at those projects and the amount of drainage area that they're going to make improvement to the citizens, to our roads, it's just an amazing testament to our citizens that they're allowing us to capture that fee, and then that they trust us to spend that money and make those improvements that the city needs for infrastructure, critical infrastructure throughout the city.
Eduardo Mendoza is the director of the engineering department for our city of McAllen. Are you speaking today or a video of you as well participating today?
No, sir.
Okay.
The mayor and commission are going to be handling that.
Well, that's good. That's good because then there's makeup involved and all that stuff. It takes a while to wash that off. Eduardo Mendoza, our chief engineer for the city of McAllen. You mentioned drainage, and I got to ask you because I know people working for a living, driving around here, maybe some on the freeway, looking at the feeder road here in front of the convention center. Man, when we get a gully washer, every now and then it rains. Every now and then it decides to rain. And all at once, it seems. Oh, there you go. I did 12 months worth of rain. And we have the drainage situation in front of the convention center, it floods really quick. There's other areas that flood really quick. So I would imagine that these areas are priority when it comes to whatever, fatten up the tubes or whatever necessary to get the water away.
You know, what I'll say with the city of McAllen is that's definitely a priority, but every area in the city of McAllen that has possible flooding is of concern to us, and the engineering department is always out there actively looking to design and build those projects where we need to make those partnerships with the county, TxDOT, our other partners. We're out there actively searching for those. If you go through our list of projects that we're doing, we have over $200 million in capital improvements. That's throughout the whole city. That's a tremendous amount of infrastructure for one city the size of McAllen.
If the state of Texas, or I don't know, maybe this would be more like a state and regional approach. If the state of Texas gave you the checkbook and they say, there you go, Ed, write a figure. That way we can go ahead and hire whoever's necessary to fatten up the pipes and get the water, or pumps, get the water out of the way. How much money, ballpark figure, your best estimate is, you're in the mix, you're in the know. How much money would it take in one hit to solve as quickly as possible the drainage issues that McAllen sees? All of them. How much would it be? You get best guess.
And that blows my mind. I couldn't venture to guess, but I'll tell you this is McAllen's always looking to actively handle those, and where we come short, we're looking for those partnerships, like you said, with the state of Texas, with TxDOT, with our county partners, to make those projects come to fruition.
Yeah, I've asked this of the county. I've asked this of Westaco. You know how we hear Westaco, the flooding that they have. When it decides to rain, every now and then there's a piecemeal, slow, methodical approach to do that. I would imagine that digging more holes in the ground, like retention ponds, would be one easy way to get there. Is that a part of the to-do list? And McAllen more retention ponds?
I'm glad you bring that up right now. It's definitely a tool in the toolbox. Right now we have a Rancho RDF, a regional detention pond, that we are finishing up, and hopefully we'll have a ribbon cutting fairly soon. Talking about drainage, we had a 2018 drain pond. We're coming to the end of all those projects. We have two final projects that have already been released, which is Pump Bypass 255 and Second and Byron Nelson, that we just issued an award on Monday at City Commission. Very exciting projects. Glad to be finishing those projects up on the 2018 bond. It's a commitment to our community when they entrust us to go out and seek bonds, that we design them and put them in construction as soon as possible. And so I think it's a great something to celebrate, showing that McAllen is a good steward of our citizens' money. And so I just wanted to highlight those two projects, that we'll be wrapping them up this year.
Eduardo Mendoza, our Director of Engineering for the City of McAllen, that Rancho Regional Retention Pond that you mentioned, is it named after Hebronville? Rancho Hebronville? Just curious.
No.
Like, do you have family over there in Hebronville?
Yeah, my parents still live there. All my cousins, aunts, uncles.
So when you go back home to see Ama and Apa, where do you take them out? Like, is there like a good Mexican food place out there?
They got several good restaurants.
They would need to, right? Because they got the Border Patrol station nearby.
Yeah.
Those muchachos, they need to go to lunch over there.
Definitely.
As well. When we fill up those retention ponds, I don't think they've been tested to let's say like a tropical system, really pouring water, filling those suckers up. This is a question I've had for the longest time. When they do fill up, do we work to take the water out, or we leave them there? I don't know, put some duckies and throw some fish in there that says, catch and release. What do we do with all that water in the end?
So the way those RDFs work is what you're offlining the water from the main system temporarily while the water is releasing downstream. And so we work with the county. The county's taking our drainage water out to the Laguna Madre. And so as we all partner together, each city, we want to hold our water back as long as possible and then release that in a controlled fashion.
So there's a pipe at the bottom, right, that you open up in a tube, then open them and the water gets out.
That would release,
down to
yes,
the
sir.
drains. Somewhere fascinating. Anything else you want to mention? Either, I don't know if this would be your department, but you know how they want to coordinate traffic lights, things like that. Is that your department too?
No, there's a director for traffic operations.
Okay, for something like that. 2026, anything you can mention right now without stealing any of the mayor's thunder?
Well, one thing I'd like to highlight, we talked about development early in the interview, and the Development Service Department just adopted a UDC last year. We had an update. It's important for all our developers.
That's the like Unified Development Code or Universal Development Code, something like that, right?
The Unified Development Code. And so it's for all our developers, we work hard to make sure that we expedite development, that review process is as quick as possible and expeditious. And so that's just a really great tool that McAllen has that we're continuing to update and make sure that it meets the current code and is good for our developers.
There are several entities, several departments, permitting and approvals that need to happen. We want to be business friendly, continue to absorb all these people knocking at our door, trying to set up something, make it as quickly.
That's a good point. That's exactly what we're trying to do at the Development Center. Between me, Omar Sotelo, the planning director, and Norma Yado, the building official, we work collaboratively. We're a team to make sure that we get development out as soon as possible and make sure that the development process is as stress-free for our citizens.
At your engineering office for McAllen, are you hiring? Are you looking for people? Like, what's going on?
We have a couple positions open. We have a construction manager, an inspector position. We're always looking for good employees.
All right, brother. Hey, thanks for stopping by, giving us an update.
No, thank you, Sergio.
Keep in touch.
Look forward to hearing what the mayor presents today.
Oh, we know already. I'm saving your thunder, Javi. I'm not going to steal it from you. I've got my cards right here. You think you can? I see your cards. All right. Thank you, brother.
Yes, sir.
Thanks for stopping by. That is our chief engineer for the city of McAllen, Eduardo Mendoza, and the Sergio Show on News Talk 710 KURV. We're broadcasting from the McAllen Convention Center, our big, beautiful McAllen Convention Center today at noon. Our mayor, Javier Villalobos, will be speaking with about 1,000 people. They got 1,000 plates out here, all going to be eating some short ribs. I didn't ask what was going to be on dessert, though. It's probably... Every year they do in McAllen, they do like chocolate mousse, or maybe this year they'll have like some cheesecake with strawberry. Oh my goodness, I've been hungry just thinking about it. Hey, thanks for joining us on 710 KURV. A very, very big thank you to all our family at Rio Bank. Fort Sasser, all the gang at Rio Bank, thank you so much for today's remote broadcast. They are the Ambassador Series, the remote broadcast on 710 KURV. This is the Sergio Show.
Coming up after the Sergio Show, stay tuned for the Dana Lash Show starting at 11, followed by the Brian Kilmeade Show at 2 on News Talk 710 KURV and on the Radio Potomy app.
Edinburgh is growing and leading the way in healthcare and education. Home to DHR Health, South Texas Health Systems, and the new Driscoll Children's Hospital. Our city is a true healthcare hub for the region. The UTRGV School of Medicine is shaping the next generation of doctors and researchers. And UTRGV ranks among the top Hispanic-serving institutions in the nation with strong workforce programs and partnerships. Edinburgh is building a talent pipeline ready for the future. Discover more at edinburghedc.com.
With over 50 years of doing business here in the RGV, McAllen Bolt is still your leading industrial supply and fastener local warehouse to fit all your valley needs. We also do U-Haul rentals, from abrasives to cutting, From anchors to screws, from metric to standard, no order or need is too small or too big. McAllen Bolt on Old 83 and 23rd on the railroad tracks. Here to help you get the job done.
Former lobbyist Sid Miller is flying high, and Texans are paying the price. As Agriculture Commissioner, Sid Miller spends our money traveling the globe with 48 taxpayer-funded overseas trips planned this year alone. And while Sid Miller travels the world on our dime, foreign adversaries like China and the Muslim Brotherhood are buying up Texas farmland from right under our feet. It's why Governor Abbott called Miller an utter failure. But thankfully, we have a choice. Abbott endorsed Nate Sheets is running for Ag Commissioner to put farmers first. Nate Sheets is a proud veteran and Christian who built America's #1 honey company from a single beehive in his backyard. As Ag Commissioner, Nate will fight to improve the bottom line for farmers and ranchers and help Trump stop foreign enemies from buying up our land. Governor Abbott, Texas Farm Bureau, and the Texas Cattle Raisers stand with Nate Sheets. Vote conservative Republican Nate Sheets for Ag Commissioner.
I'm Nate Sheets, and I approve of this message. Political ad paid for by Nate Sheets Campaign.
For over a century, one name has stood for quality, safety, and service in the commercial roofing and waterproofing industry, Chamberlain Roofing and Waterproofing. While our services have grown, our commitment to safety, ongoing training, customer service, and attention to detail has remained the foundation of our success, ensuring our teams are prepared, our customers are protected, and our projects are delivered with excellence.
From roofing and sheet metal to waterproofing and caulking, leak repair and preventative maintenance, and even full building and parking garage restoration, Chamberlain delivers professional, personalized results every time.
From large-scale roof replacements or quick leak repair, Chamberlain Roofing and Waterproofing provides top-quality installations at a competitive price, all with the spirit of cooperation for our valued clients.
Now serving Rio Grande Valley and throughout Texas, you can count on Chamberlain Roofing and Waterproofing to deliver more. Call 956-655-6178 or visit ChamberlainLTD.com to learn more.
Thank you, McAllen, and thank you, Rio Grande Valley, for listening today to News Talk 710 KURV, the Valley's official home for Fox News Radio.
The time is 9:27, the Sergio Show on News Talk 710 KURV. I'm on the road. We're at the McAllen Convention Center as a lead-in program to the State of the City address. Our McAllen Mayor Javier Villalobos will be talking to about 1,000 people, and that's the 1,000 plates. We have media and other state folks. We're over 1,000 people participating today in the State of the City, and we're hoping for one big whopper announcement from the mayor. So tune in for that on the drive home as we have a chance to review some of what was said today at the annual State of the City address for our city of McAllen. Got a couple of minutes here for a program note. Stick around because part of the conversations that are coming up, yes, we will hear from our friends at Rio Bank on the front lines of Capital that are providing for some of these projects, commercial projects. That's their bread and butter, man. That's their mero mole. I would say about 90% of what they do at Rio Bank is providing the capital for some big capital projects in the area. And we'll touch on that, look at last year, look ahead to this year as well, and the impressive growth at Rio Bank for 2025. Some of my guests coming up on the show, we have Jeremy Santoscoy. You know, I should run a trivia question and give like something nice every now and then on our line, our KURV line or WhatsApp line. I should be asking like, okay, you guys who listen long enough to KURV, who's Jeremy Santoscoy? Boom. Probably somebody from the airport checking in. So our airport director, Jeremy Santoscoy, will be joining us in a little bit. You know, if you've been paying attention to the news this morning, you could probably guess one that I'm chomping on the bit on. Can't wait to ask him because one of the big headlines overnight, they say it was security-based. El Paso is very, very far away from us. I mean, it could be another country. Texas is so big. But one of the big stories, fascinating, they say it's security-based. No flights for El Paso, Texas, West Texas. Did you have El Paso on your agenda? You're probably going to have to take a bus or drive there or fly in nearby in, I don't know, New Mexico and drive over. They've shut things down. No flights. No commercial flights for El Paso for several days. I'm sure Jeremy probably has his ear to the ground on this. I'll just ask him, see what's going on. What are the security concerns on that one? That's coming up next hour of the Sergio Show. And yes, looking at the performance at the McAllen Airport, one of the big stories over the past year, towards the end of last year, was that Mexico City connection that we lost. And might it be coming back? So what's the scuttlebutt in D.C.? Or did everybody forget because they're looking for, Miss Guthrie's mom of late? Everybody forgot about, big issues in D.C. So we'll visit that next hour. All the butts in the seats, the flights, all that from our airport in McAllen. Also, looking at the impressive growth and activity at the McAllen area parks from Parks and Recreation. There are Parks and Recreation in McAllen. They're the ones who, I know they store, for example, every December we have a massive destination activity all of December, the big, beautiful parade for Christmas. And of course, here on the campus, all the Christmassy things that we do on campus here at the McAllen Convention Center. They have all those floats, which, by the way, inside the big room where they're having the 1,000-plate lunch today for the state of the city, beautifully adorned. It's gorgeous, man. I'm so proud to live in McAllen. They've got some of these Christmas floats, like the big train and palms, and just beautiful floats that line the walls here at the McAllen Convention Center. But I'm sure you have noticed every weekend, in fact, right? Friday, Saturday night, afternoon, the big parks in McAllen, the soccer fields, full of huercos, full of kids. They got like soccer tournaments. It seems like every weekend. That's a lot of people coming in from out of town, from Monterrey, from everywhere, to have these soccer tournaments. And massive economic impact. Freddie, thank you. Thank you, Freddie. Producer Freddie, the evil Freddie, back at the at HQ. I've got the good Freddie here running the show right beneath the podium. Evil Freddie just texted me, El Paso Airport is open. Thank you, Freddie, for the update. Yeah, I should be paying attention to the top of the hour news. So we'll be talking about Parks and Recreation, all the tournaments, the economic driver that is for the economy in McAllen, our airport as well, the convention center business, and of course, the capital made available to a new industry headed this way, a lot of high tech headed this way for McAllen. This is News Talk 710 KURV, the Sergio Show. We're broadcasting today. We're honored to be broadcasting at the McAllen Convention Center as a lead-in program to this year's State of the City with our mayor, Javier Villalobos. Special thank you to folks every day who make the show possible. Chamberlain Roofing and Waterproofing, chamberlainltd.com.
Radio United is hiring. We're looking for an experienced HR and business coordinator to support our growing media markets. This role handles human resources, accounting support, payroll coordination, reporting, reconciliations, and budgets, working closely with our business manager and corporate accounting team. Ideal candidates have 3 years of accounting experience, 2 years in human resources, strong Excel skills, and are bilingual. Media experience is a plus. Send your resume to humanresources@radiounited.com. Radio United is an equal opportunity employer.
Are you in the market for a new Toyota or pre-owned Toyota? Look no further than Toyota Afar. They have extensive selection of Toyota cars and Toyota trucks and Toyota SUVs, along with exceptional customer service every step of the way. Number to call, 956-815-2285.
Oh, could this vintage store be any cuter?
Right? And the best part? They accept Discover.
Accept Discover? In a little place like this? I don't think so, Jennifer.
Oh, yeah, huh? Discover's accepted where I like to shop. Come on, baby, get with the times.
Right. So we shouldn't get the parachute pants?
These are making a comeback. I think.
Discover is accepted at 99% of places that take credit cards nationwide. Based on the February 2025 Nielsen report.
The Friday Sergio Show at the Edinburgh Conference Center at Renaissance DHR campus, broadcasting from the inaugural RGVBusinessJournal.com Economic Outlook Luncheon. Join us as we hear from top leaders taking inventory of our region's economy and looking ahead to 2026.
I'm Lieutenant Governor Dan Patrick. For
For the past decade, I was the leading voice in passing school choice. I never gave up. And in 2025, we passed the largest school choice plan in America. I also passed a law requiring that school locker rooms, showers, restrooms, and private spaces be restricted to only one gender to keep your daughter safe. Now, parents are back in control of their children's education.
Lieutenant Governor Dan Patrick, keeping Texas the most conservative state in America.
When President Obama wouldn't do his job, I was the first state leader to ensure Texas had state troopers on the southern border.
Lieutenant Governor Dan Patrick is the driving force behind the Texas legislature that makes laws from conservative ideas, and Patrick has made Texas the most conservative state in America. Donald Trump has given Lieutenant Governor Dan Patrick his endorsement, saying Dan Patrick is a true MAGA Republican.
I am giving him my complete and total endorsement.
Political ad paid for by Texans for Dan Patrick.
It's the Drive More, Pay Less event at Toyota FAR, and the savings are better than ever. Drive off in a Tacoma for just $95 a month, or a Tundra for only $295. That's more truck, more power, and more value for your money. Visit us today at 1625 West Interstate 2 in FAR. Shop online at toyotafar.com or call 956-815-2285. That's 956-815-2285. Toyota FAR, son buena gente.
For victims of drunk or drug driving, your grief is unique, but you're not alone. You'll always have a place at MAD. Call the 24-hour victim helpline at 877-MAD-HELP or visit mad.org.
Fox News, I'm CJ Papa. Flights are taking off and landing again this morning at the airport in El Paso, Texas. The FAA had ordered a 10-day ground stop last night.
The temporary closure of airspace over El Paso has been lifted. There is no threat to commercial aviation. All flights will resume.
A Trump administration official tells Fox Mexican cartel drones breach U.S. airspace. The Department of War disabled the drones, adding there's no threat to commercial travel. The man detained and then released by authorities in Pima County, Arizona, and the disappearance of Nancy Guthrie is telling Fox's Matt Finn.
Ultimately, Carlos told us he was questioned, asked about his whereabouts. They took his phone, and that's it. He says he's a free man. He wants his name cleared. He doesn't want to be associated with the Guthrie case.
And President Trump set to welcome Israel's leader Benjamin Netanyahu to the White House. America's listening to Fox News.
Your 710 KURV AccuWeather forecast, mostly sunny skies, highs of 84 to 89. Will be clear tonight, lows in the mid-60s. Tomorrow, sunshine and warm again, highs in the mid to upper 80s. The wind picks up on Friday, partly sunny, highs 82 to 87. Will approach 90 in some areas over the weekend. I'm AccuWeather meteorologist Bill Daker on the Valley's official weather station, 710 KURV.
Broadcasting from the Valley's commercial and fleet headquarters studio at PayneAutoGroup.com. You're listening to News Talk 710 KURV. The Sergio Show with Sergio Sanchez. Rapid fire headlines.
Today's special ambassador edition of the Sergio Show on 710 KURV, presented by the good folks at Rio Bank and Chamberlain Roofing and Waterproofing. We'll be hearing from our friends at Rio Bank momentarily, so please stick around. Yeah, as you heard on Fox News, and this was just within a couple of hours ago, the Federal Aviation Administration saying that flights to and from El Paso are back on. They're resuming as normal, pushing back on the headline from all morning long. They had cited initially they were going to shut down the airport for 10 days, but no. The FAA, again, El Paso Airport is now open. Ford Motor Company just reported their worst quarterly loss ever. Congress facing a tight Friday deadline to fund the Department of Homeland Security. Otherwise, they might see a small shutdown at the department.
Lawmakers have until Friday to pass funding for the Department of Homeland Security. In the event of a shutdown, ICE has contingency funds to keep operating. So the effects of a DHS shutdown would mostly be felt by agencies like TSA and FEMA. Some lawmakers say they'd be okay with another short-term funding extension. With just days to go, negotiations over immigration and customs enforcement reforms have reached a stalemate.
McAllen ISD Board of Trustees approving an election date. They're asking voters at McAllen ISD to approve $335 million in a new bond package. We're looking at some reparations, modernization efforts. Election day will be, let's see, here in May, right? Like May 2nd. Yeah, May 2nd. Early vote is April 20th. And a quick sports note as we go to break. 3-time Cy Young Award winner and Houston Astros great Justin Verlander is back home in Detroit. He's back with the Tigers for 1 year, $13 million. I don't know, maybe this will be the final year for Justin Verlander. This is the Sergio Show on Newstalk 710 KURV. Ambassador broadcast. We are at the McAllen Convention Center lead-in program to the state of the city with our mayor, Javier Villalobos. We'll hear from our family at Rio Bank next on 710 KURV.
Active Liver from New Nordic protects your liver so you can enjoy life to the fullest online at Amazon or in stores at CVS, Wegmans, and now GNC.
Don Huffines is a successful businessman who stands with President Trump to enforce our immigration laws and put Texas first. As a senator, Don Huffines exposed a multi-million-dollar government corruption scandal and sent 6 crooks to prison for stealing our tax dollars. As our comptroller, Don Huffines will bring a private sector mindset to government. He'll doge waste, fraud, and abuse, eliminate all taxpayer-funded benefits to illegal aliens, and abolish every woke DEI program in every government agency in Texas. Don Huffines is the only Trump Republican running for Texas comptroller. That's why he's endorsed by Senator Ted Cruz and every major conservative group in Texas, including Texas Right to Life and Gun Owners of America. Don Huffines, the Trump Republican for comptroller.
Political ad paid for by the Don Huffines campaign.
If you're in the market for a new Toyota or pre-owned Toyota, look no further than Toyota Afar. They have an extensive selection of Toyota cars and Toyota SUVs and Toyota trucks, along with exceptional customer service every step of the way. Call 956-815-2285.
I'm Lieutenant Governor Dan Patrick. For the past decade, I was the leading voice in passing school choice. I never gave up. And in 2025, we passed the largest school choice plan in America. I also passed a law requiring that school locker rooms, showers, restrooms, and private spaces be restricted to only one gender to keep your daughter safe. Now, parents are back in control of their children's education.
Lieutenant Governor Dan Patrick, keeping Texas the most conservative state in America.
When President Obama wouldn't do his job, I was the first state leader to ensure Texas had state troopers on the southern border.
Lieutenant Governor Dan Patrick is the driving force behind the Texas legislature that makes laws from conservative ideas, and Patrick has made Texas the most conservative state in America. Donald Trump has given Lieutenant Governor Dan Patrick his endorsement, saying Dan Patrick is a true MAGA Republican.
I am giving him my complete and total endorsement.
Political ad paid for by Texans for Dan Patrick.
Audio streaming on KURV.com. Powered by South Texas Buick GMC, McAllen Mission.
From the front lines of money and business in the area, welcome to the show. President of Rio Bank is Brian Humphreys, first time on the program, and we appreciate Rio Bank, their support, and keeping our talk show on the air. Going on the road, we're part of the lead-in programming to the state of the city in McAllen, broadcasting at the McAllen Convention Center. So, Brian, welcome to the program. We were talking about the weather. He'd spent a couple of days in Colorado, came back, and poof, right back into the oven here in South Texas. How long have you been in South Texas, Brian?
I'm from here. I grew up in Weslaco.
Okay, so you know.
This is home.
Yeah. You escaped to the cooler area.
Just for a couple of days.
Come back to the heat. Yeah, we got beach weather this weekend. This is going to be in the 90s. Okay, so let's do a rewind. Ford and I, we've talked about some of the successes in 2025. Among them is the expansion of Rio Bank, the footprint to the Hill Country in Central Texas. So let's start there for 2025. So some of the successes there.
Sure. We had been looking to acquire another bank for a number of years and really trying to expand our geographic footprint, diversify some of our risk a little bit. And so Ford and I spent a lot of time on the road visiting with different banks throughout the state, and really we think we found the perfect partner with what used to be called Lone Star Capital Bank out of San Antonio. And so we closed on that transaction back in September, and so now we have locations throughout from San Antonio up through Johnson City, Dripping Springs, Blanco, Marble Falls. So footprint looks a lot different today.
So más o menos up in the Hill Country in Central Texas, what are we looking at? How many did Real Bank have? And then as a result of the acquisition, how much did it increase?
Sure. Today we have 23 branches.
Okay.
And so there's been some locations that have been closed or added since, but today we're operating 23 locations.
All right.
So.
Do you see some similarities with the market, the economy in Central Texas, over in the Hill Country and the Valley?
In some regards, yes.
Okay.
The Valley is still our bread and butter. There's so much taking place down here, just been exceptional. And then the submarkets are very different up there. San Antonio is very different than Johnson City or Dripping Springs, because Dripping Springs and Marble Falls are a little closer to the Austin markets. We've also got a location in Fredericksburg, and so it's a little slower paced than what we have here, but real good loan demand coming out of both markets. Deposits have been strong. So
yeah, there's two similarities I see. Mexican food is pretty decent in both regions.
True.
And Elon Musk,
Yep.
He's got a house up in Austin area, house down here as well.
We're not intentionally following him. Maybe he's following us. I don't know.
We should go door knocking. Hey man, how about opening up an account over at Real Bank? They're over here.
It'd be great.
Yeah.
We'll take the deposits.
That'd be awesome. Brian Humphrey is president of Real Bank. We're looking at some of the economic activity for 2025. Was there a specific metric in 25 that surprised you? You said, wow, that was off the charts. This could have been lending. It could have been anything on the retail side for Real Bank, investments of a specific type and commercial side. Well, anything surprised you in 2025?
No, we just had continued really strong growth. We were not even, don't really hold back to be under $1 billion prior to the acquisition. And the loans and the deposits just kept pouring in through what was just the original Real Bank franchise prior to the acquisition. And so we'd actually made the jump over the $1 billion threshold in assets prior to the acquisition. And so we've just continued that trajectory since that point.
If you meet somebody in an elevator who's from out of town, they just moved to Texas or South Texas, say, hey, I like your shirt. Real Bank. What's Real Bank? Why should I bank over at Real Bank? Like, how they say at the chamber, 1 minute elevator speech. What do you tell these folks?
Sure. We've had the catchphrase for many years, your kind of bank and your kind of banker. And really that's what we try and represent. There's a true difference in community banking, and it's being able to go in and visit with people that people call you by your name, and we try and represent that in everything that we do.
For 2026, any specific goals that Real Bank has in mind, or perhaps some services that might be new, or something in the economy that you're hoping to target as a result of the exponential growth that we see right now, the difference in industry, technology, all those things?
Sure. Right now, we're just working on adding some other technology features to make banking a little bit easier, not only for our customers, but for our employees to facilitate the growth. And so,
like on the customer service side,
on both sides,
Yeah.
and making it easier to open accounts, making it easier to close a loan. And really our focus this year is efficiencies and how we can drive better efficiencies throughout the entire bank and what we do, especially after the acquisition. There's just a little bit cleanup, I would say.
How about brick and mortar projects? Like maybe, we will be actually, we got the locations in Central Texas, but maybe expand a bit more.
Sure. We've got projects in the ground right now. We've got a big project in Elsa. Back in 2018, we had acquired the Elsa State Bank, which had locations throughout the valley, but their primary facility was there in Elsa. And it had a very dated building that it was kind of a maintenance nightmare. And so we made a big decision to reinvest in that community. And so we built a brand new branch there on the same site. We had plenty of space. And our board had the wisdom to go ahead and throw in a community center. And so we finished phase 1, which is our branch, and now we're under construction for phase 2, which will be a community center that can be used by anyone out in the Delta area for events or hosting Rotary meetings or whatnot. And there just hadn't been a nice facility like that in that region for a long time.
And they needed it for the longest time. And I'm surprised the Delta area, you mentioned Edcast, Elsa,
Yep.
A lot of growth. If you guys haven't driven by, gone Highway 88 north of Westaco and hit that area, Super Walmart, all these stores, retail popping up. It's happening there in the Delta area.
It continues to grow. We've got a very dominant market share up there because there's just not a lot of banks up in that area, which is okay with us.
True, I didn't think of that. That's true.
It's been a great market for us. And so in addition to the ELSA projects, we've started construction in Edinburgh. Really, there's really not been any banking presence on the east side of 281, if you think back to where most of the banks are. And so we've been targeting East Edinburgh for a while. That's where a lot of the new rooftops are. It's not just a new football stadium, but there's a lot of rooftops over there. And so we acquired a tract right along the expressway on the east side in Edinburgh and have started construction there and should have that delivered here by the end of the second quarter.
East of the freeway. Yep. Anything in that? Yeah, you mentioned that's East Edinburgh.
Yep.
And you're right. As far as all the retail activity and banking activity and other commercial, it's on the west side of the freeway. Yeah, growth everywhere in South Texas. Outside of those two regions, any other area, Brownsville maybe, or the area that will fill in between Brownsville and Harlingen, perhaps as maybe a target for growth?
We've been in Brownsville for quite a while, down by the expressway, and then we've acquired another tract of land at Paredes Line in Alton Glore.
Mm-hmm.
And so finalizing construction plans, and we'll be starting another branch over there. That's just another great market, has been for us, and we see a lot of future opportunities over there.
Brian Humphreys is president of Rio Bank, and we're broadcasting as a lead-in to the state of the city in McAllen. Let's look at McAllen specific, since the office is in McAllen. Gorgeous facility, 6-story building off the freeway. UTRGV. I think Dr. Guy Bailey is at the top floor on that one. I think that's where his office is still there, right?
Oh, yes.
Yeah. So tell me about the McAllen market. I can't exclude McAllen, Mission, and Edinburgh. What do you see our market, let's say 5 years and 10 years from now? I know you're privy to conversations about the amazing high-tech stuff that's on the way to the area, transformative economy at the moment.
Well, and I think it has been for quite a while. I remember meeting with some bankers. I think I was in Wisconsin at the time, about 10 years ago or so. And they said, well, tell us about the area in which you operate.
Mm-hmm.
And we started talking about all the different industries and how things have evolved from, the time when I was young, when it was mostly an ag economy. And we really had so many more opportunities for growth in a lot of regions in the U.S. And I would argue that it's even better today than it was 10 years ago when I was saying that, just because of the different diversity in the different economies that we have. You reference Guy Bailey and UTRGV. I mean, they're transforming the valley with a lot of what they're doing, whether it's the healthcare and the medical school, or just providing better educated workforce for our communities down here.
How much bigger might the Rio Bank footprint become up in the Hill Country in Central Texas? Is there a goal that, for example, you're at the board in Ford, you're saying, okay, we'd like to hit a total of 30 branches with the new ones up there, or 35, something like that. Like you have a chart that shows growth and places.
I'm not sure that we would measure it by number of branches.
Mm-hmm.
Usually it'd be by asset growth and how big we want the bank to be as far as assets. Next 5 years, I'd like to see us over $2 billion. We're about $1.4 billion in assets today.
How do you get there? Just bank deposits?
Bank deposits,
more lending, more customers,
growing your capital. There's all kinds of ways we can do it. And so I think, banks, just like anyone else, your growth is restricted by your capital. I think we've got capital and access to capital to get us there without it being too much of a stretch right now.
You mentioned new services, new changes in technology for the staff, for customers. Do you think that as quickly as things are changing, do you think in 5 years, banking as we know now will be completely different as far as the paper product, even paper currency? Coin currency is changing. They're not making pennies anymore. But on the electronic side, everything is done electronically. I read about a month ago comments I don't know who the gods in banking are or in financial transactions talking about the day that we will no longer have checks. I don't know if that'll be 5 years from now, but where do you see the industry in 5 years or so?
I don't see it completely changed. I think there's a gradual transformation. I think, where people keep their money, there's a big trust issue. And so while we'll work on evolving technology and there will be some real movers and shakers, I think you'll see the majority of community banks and other people gradually move towards more efficient processes. But, Sergio, I think people are starting to use AI in a big way. And, a year ago, everyone was kind of scared of what that really meant. I think most banks, including us, have adopted AI policies and are trying to figure out ways to implement it in what we do. And so, it's going to change, but I wouldn't say it's a wholesale change in the way that people work with their banks. Most of what we do is, working with small businesses, and that still requires a lot of personal touch.
Yes. Yeah. The younger generation doesn't even recognize the need for a bank, it seems. With what do you call these things, like Zelle and Zelle, whatever, and all the
Zelle, Venmo, PayPal,
right, all those things.
Yep.
And that's how these kids. That's like my son who's 18, my nephews, extended family at that age, at very, very young age, they're conducting transactions, just texting each other or giving each other codes, and that's how they know, and they have wealth. It's not at a traditional bank. You know what I mean?
Unfortunately, you can say fortunately or unfortunately, they've never really seen a real financial crisis, a lot of the folks, and so they don't understand the importance of FDIC insurance with your checking accounts. So I think some of those people, it may take a market correction to understand what that means a little bit more. You don't want to see it.
Yeah. That'll learn you.
I've always heard everyone's a great banker in a good economy. You find out who the good bankers are when things turn down. So, but it's same's true for customers. I mean, you get real comfortable and don't think there's any chance of losing.
I grabbed my 18-year-old by the ear. You're coming with me, boy. Bring your ID, and you're going to open up an account right now. This is where you're going to start learning how to bank.
Right.
Traditional banking.
And we're joking about Venmo and PayPal and Zelle, but there's a lot of online banks that are just coming on. They don't really have much of a physical footprint whatsoever, and they do provide that. And I think that's becoming a bigger source of competition for banks like ours. I was visiting with a friend yesterday who just said, "Have you ever heard of this company?" And they do everything online: loans, deposits, investment accounts, and I mean it's competitive.
Yeah. Until they get that one text message, the final text message. Thank you for your banking. We will go with your money now. Love, Peggy. It's like, oh crap, there it goes. It's gone, right?
The prince from Africa thanks you for your business.
Oh, God forbid. From Rio Bank President Brian Humphreys. And if you were to look at the business for Rio Bank in let's say in pie, a delicious pie chart. What would you say, 60-40 commercial versus retail? The opposite, like maybe split it into pies, where the business is at Rio Bank?
Sure. We're primarily a commercial bank.
Mm-hmm.
We have plenty of retail deposits, not a lot of retail lending business. We do have mortgage business that drives a little bit in, but, the credit unions do such a good job, and the money center banks on the real high volume, small dollar lending, that's really not our area.
So it's like 90-10, you would say, right?
Yeah, and over 90% of our loans touch real estate in some form or fashion.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, which gives you an advantage. The Eagles perch, you can see what's happening with the economy down here. I would imagine your lending office, because you're dealing with the real estate and the commercial side of it and commercial building and construction, you can say the McAllen economy is booming. The Valley economy is booming.
The Valley economy is still doing great.
Yeah.
We've got a lot of construction projects on the ground right now, not just us building stuff, but financing it for a lot of folks everywhere, both down here and in San Antonio and the Hill Country. So I think that trend will continue. I think there's a lot of great entrepreneurs with wonderful ideas that are continuing to launch new businesses, and we love being a part of that.
Yeah. The Mexican food, the Tex-Mex food is slightly better in the Valley compared to San Antonio, though, because they got this 100%. Weird red sauce up there. No, down here we got the right gravy and the yellow cheese for that.
Brad, thanks for stopping by.
Absolutely.
Appreciate
you,
your continued support. Rio Bank, thank you. All the family Ford, God bless you. Thank you for your continued support, getting us on the road on this Ambassador Series. Brian Humphreys, president of Rio Bank, and we're broadcasting the program from the McAllen Convention Center, lead-in to the State of the City. McAllen.
A world of news, information, and entertainment. Download the Radio Parami app on your Google Play Store or Apple App Store.
It makes it a lot easier for me to listen to the radio on the go.
For the very latest, stay connected to News Talk 710 KURV. History's unfolding, and you're listening to it on News Talk 710 KURV, Edinburgh, McAllen, Harlingen, Brownsville.
From 10 days to about 10 hours. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News. An FAA order to cancel all flights to and from El Paso, Texas, issued late last night, was lifted this morning. El Paso Mayor Renard Johnson's upset the whole thing caught them off guard.
You cannot restrict airspace over a major city without coordinating with the city, the airport, the hospitals.
The Trump administration says that initial 10-day airspace closure around El Paso came after Mexican drug cartel drones breached it and the military took action to disable them. It's day 11 of the search for Nancy Guthrie. A man was questioned, then released, and now TMZ founder Harvey Levin just told Fox.
We got kind of a bizarre letter, an email from somebody who says they know who the kidnapper is and that they have tried reaching Savannah's sister, Annie, and Savannah's brother to no avail.
Attorney General Pam Bondi's on a hot seat at a House hearing right now.
President Trump's policies have saved lives.
Touting a drop in violent crimes. But Democratic Congressman Jamie Raskin just told Bondi,
abandoning victims and coddling perpetrators is what you do best.
He urged the Attorney General to talk to victims of the Jeffrey Epstein sex trafficking operation seated behind her at the hearing.
Those are just some of the hundreds of survivors of Jeffrey Epstein's global sex trafficking ring who are demanding that the truth be told.
Well, moments ago, Bondi responded. They've released millions of Epstein files and directly addressed those survivors.
Despite what the ranking member said, I have spent my entire career fighting for victims, and I will continue to do so. I am deeply sorry for what any victim has been through, especially as a result of that monster.
We got a surge in hiring last month. 130,000 jobs created, double what was expected, and the unemployment rate went down.
This President's Day, Pure Talk is honoring Jackson and Lincoln by offering unlimited talk, text, and plenty of data for just $25 a month. Meanwhile, Big Wireless is honoring Ben Franklin by charging families hundreds of dollars for the same 5G coverage. What? Franklin wasn't even a president. Hang on to those Benjamins. Dial pound 250, say Mike Rowe, and save 50% off your first month. That's pound 250, Mike Rowe, to switch to an American wireless company that's truly unprecedented. Pure Talk.
It all comes down to this, folks.
Yep, the entire season is on the line.
But my throat has officially thrown in the towel. Sounds like you need Vicks VapoCool drops. They're max strength and vaporize sore throat pain.
Whoa! These VapoCool drops hit fast.
Speaking of fast, did you just see that play?
Yeah, he vaporized that ball.
That pun should have come with a penalty.
Vaporize sore throat pain with Vicks VapoCool drops. Use as directed.
Well, back to that better-than-expected report on hiring. President Trump touted on Truth Social what he called great jobs numbers, and the golden age is upon us. The unemployment rate went down a tenth to 4.3%, but on Wall Street, the Dow is now down 180 points. The Nasdaq's dropping 53. This hour, the president will host Israel's Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu at the White House for talks with a big focus on Iran.
Prime Minister Netanyahu huddled last night with Steve Witkoff and Jared Kushner ahead of this meeting with President Trump today. If President Trump orders another aircraft carrier strike group to the Middle East, like Axios reports is a possibility to join the USS Abraham Lincoln and all the ships that accompany her, then the American posture is going to be basically what it was during the heaviest fighting in Gaza. But Don't expect another armada, as President Trump calls it, just to support toppling the Ayatollah. All of this extra military muscle could be a way to pressure Iran to make a deal over their nuclear program.
Fox's Peter Doocy at the White House. And after President Trump had stirred up controversy in Europe, pushing for a U.S. takeover of Greenland, a territory of NATO ally Denmark, there's a new NATO mission.
Arctic Sentry is part of an agreement meant to reduce tensions caused by President Trump's desire for the United States to acquire Greenland. The mission will coordinate an increased military presence in the region as allies conduct exercises and step up operations. Last month, President Trump agreed with NATO Secretary General Mark Rutte that the alliance should play a bigger role in the far north.
That's Fox's Jonathan Savage. The U.S. has won 3 more medals at the Winter Olympics. Elizabeth Lemley got gold. Jalen Koff took silver in the women's skiing moguls after Ryan Cochran-Siegel won silver in men's Super G skiing, giving the American team 10 medals in Italy in the games so far. And the men's hockey tournament is just starting now. The 2022 gold medal winners, Finland versus Slovakia. I'm Dave Anthony. This is Fox News.
Start the new year off on a healthier note by taking active liver supplements from New Nordic every day. Available online at Amazon or newnordicusa.com or at your local CVS, ShopRite, Meijer Grocery, or Wegmans.
Your 710 KURV AccuWeather forecast. Mostly sunny skies. Highs of 84 to 89. Will be clear tonight, lows in the mid-60s. Tomorrow, sunshine and warm again, highs in the mid to upper 80s. The wind picks up on Friday, partly sunny, highs 82 to 87. Will approach 90 in some areas over the weekend. I'm AccuWeather meteorologist Bill Danker on the Valley's official weather station, 710 KURV.
I'm Lieutenant Governor Dan Patrick. For the past decade, I was the leading voice in passing school choice. I never gave up. And in 2025, we passed the largest school choice plan in America. I also passed a law requiring that school locker rooms, showers, restrooms, and private spaces be restricted to only one gender to keep your daughter safe. Now, parents are back in control of their children's education.
Lieutenant Governor Dan Patrick, keeping Texas the most conservative state in America.
When President Obama wouldn't do his job, I was the first state leader to ensure Texas had state troopers on the southern border.
Lieutenant Governor Dan Patrick is the driving force behind the Texas legislature that makes laws from conservative ideas, and Patrick has made Texas the most conservative state in America. Donald Trump has given Lieutenant Governor Dan Patrick his endorsement, saying Dan Patrick is a true MAGA Republican.
I am giving him my complete and total endorsement.
Political ad paid for by Texans for Dan Patrick.
Broadcasting from the Valley's commercial and fleet headquarters studio at PayneAutoGroup.com. You're listening to News Talk 710 KURV. From the Radio United Broadcast Center, this is the Sergio Show. Talking about the news headlines and topics that affect you. And now, the Sergio Show with Sergio Sanchez.
Hour 2 of the program. Time is 10:07. And this is the Sergio Show on News Talk 710 KURV. I am the appropriately named Sergio Sanchez. Appreciate you joining us today. Special edition. It is an ambassador edition. We go every now and then. We get the blessing of jumping from the studio and being out in the community, seeing our friends and family. Today we are at the big, beautiful McAllen Convention Center. Today is the McAllen State of the City address. We got our mayor, Javier Villalobos. 1,000-plate lunch. My goodness, it's a big, beautiful convention center. 1,000 plates plus all the staff, plus the press, everybody else. Man, we got probably like 1,200 people that will be participating today at noontime. Looking forward to a recap of the activity for 2025, some of the projects that have been in the works for several years, and looking ahead to 2026. Javier Villalobos, the mayor of McAllen, to address the folks showing up here for the noontime lunch. A special thank you to folks who on a daily basis provide us the second hour of the Sergio Show on 710 KURV. Just down the street, the South Texas Buick GMC. And they're all over the place. I even think they got probably like an ATM in here somewhere. Lone Star National Bank. So we leave this hour with, I'll refer to him as the real leader of the city of McAllen. We got the mayor. We got city council, But the dude that's running everything, like he's the Oz of McAllen, the great Oz, who's running everything. It's our city manager, Isaac Tawil. Ike, welcome to the program. Come up to the microphone, brother. Thanks for having us over.
Welcome to McAllen. We're so glad to have you at the convention center on McAllen's big day. This is exciting.
We're blessed to be here. It looks gorgeous inside. My goodness.
It's going to be the best we've done. Yeah. I'm super, super excited for this one.
I saw some cables up there. So it's like, is Javi going to be flying in like from the top of the way down?
The mayor has
churches. Yeah.
The mayor has some surprises today, some really, really big ones. And I think the community is going to like it.
Without stealing much of the amazing economic thunder that I know the mayor is going to be sharing, let's just touch on some of the things because it affects, in the end, for example, sales. Last time Javier Villalobos, our mayor, was on the show, we were trending around 5%. I think we're still there on the sales activity. McAllen is the largest retail market in the RGV, still by a 2-to-1 ratio compared to, let's say, Brownsville, still twice as big. This is a destination point for shopping. We're still holding strong, well north of inflation.
All of those statistics remain true. We continue to break records year over year. The mayor has some really big numbers to report today. We were uber proud of where we ended the year and the strong economy that McAllen continues to enjoy despite everything we hear about in the news every day.
Yeah. One of the despites would be, like, for example, the bridge crossing numbers that we've been interestingly seeing go like down, but yet sales are up. Like what's going on here?
I think those the sales numbers reflect what's happening at the bridge. We're seeing less vehicular traffic come across, but we've seen increases in pedestrian traffic coming across. We've also seen changes in the habits of people coming from Mexico. So they may come less frequently, but when they come, they're staying longer and they're shopping more. And that's really turned into a recipe for success for us. So, we're taking a different view of what we're seeing happen at the bridge. We've studied the numbers and we know they support what's happening.
Our city manager for McAllen, Isaac Tawil, joining us on this special edition, Ambassador Series edition of the Sergio Show. We're at the Convention Center, lead-in program to the McAllen State of the City. Javier Villalobos, our mayor, will be speaking to over 1,000 people here at the Convention Center on the sales tax activity. Of course, thank you, Lord, for the Mexican shoppers. I love on a Saturday evening being in South McAllen and seeing those buses that bring in people from Monterrey and from Saltillo to go to shopping. And there they are. All these bags they're wrapping up, putting into the hole.
They're here, but we can't discount the people who are coming from north of us to shop. And we can't discount the growing community in McAllen from shopping. When we look at where the shopping is occurring, we know it's beyond the destinations where the Mexican shopper typically goes. So we remain very, very confident in how we see our economy growing. And we know that the next years continue to look very good for McAllen on that front.
Just an anecdotal mention. It's like, could we possibly put another Burlington? Could we possibly put in another Ross? Could we possibly put in another Five Below? Yes, we can.
And we are.
And we
are. We've got some coming to the northwest side of McAllen. We've got a great new shopping center going in there. I think we've got to sign up for a new academy.
Yeah.
We've got some of the stores you just mentioned. We have Nordstrom's coming to town. We invest heavily in supporting those kinds of businesses from coming here. But just as importantly, we support the Chamber of Commerce and our local retailers.
Yeah.
And we love seeing those success stories because we know that's the backbone of this community.
Let me get on the local side and let's focus on downtown real quick. Let's get this item out of the way. Look, I keep seeing, and I mentioned to you how I keep seeing people post online or TikTok, whatever they're posting. Downtown, the bar, nightlife area. We're drawing in, bringing in a bunch of young ones. They get rowdy and start swinging at each other, or cops having to tackle some of these people. There have been some changes. I think the last time you were with me, you were explaining that there were changes coming. Javier, our mayor, said the same. There are changes coming to code to make it more difficult for those nighttime bar establishments on 17th Street. Yeah. So update on that. Where are we and what's the future of the 17th Street district?
There are changes coming. The SUP process is going to change. We are looking at the zoning for downtown. There is under the UDC, and I think you touched on UDC a little bit with Eduardo earlier today, some new zoning districts available for places exactly like downtown that will alleviate some of the parking requirements, but move them to a CUP, a conditional use permit, instead of a special use permit that the establishments down there have operated under, which we hope will support the responsible businesses down there in their efforts to provide that kind of quality entertainment that we know our community is looking for. Look, when the mayor recognized what was happening downtown and made the call for change down there, he wanted change for the positive, not to do away with the district, but to make the district the area that the community wants. And the overwhelming response we're seeing to stories that you've put out and that we see in other news outlets is that the community is very supportive of that. And will be very supportive of the proprietors who are down there, aligned with the vision we have for what that area can be and will be. We have engaged a master planning consultant to come in and work not only with the city in putting together our plans for the future of that zone, but also working with the stakeholders and getting their input and feedback to making sure that the scheme we put together is a real partnership, something to drive success.
And part of that, at that time when we talked about it a few months ago, to address the violence and the attacks and all that stuff, was to enforce laws against allowing underage drinking and getting IDs and all that. So there's a different enforcement mechanism in place.
There was a response to a call when we had that first roundtable, that town hall. Actually, I'm going to take a step back. The first call for amped up enforcement came at the workshop where we first discussed the area. There was a request for an increased law enforcement presence, and that law enforcement presence brings enforcement. Look, we don't want to enforce. What we want people to do is follow the rules. And then we don't have to enforce, and we're getting there. Things are, I will tell you, infinitesimally better today than they were 2 months ago.
State of Texas step up with TABC?
TABC is there. They continue to have a presence there. In fact, they were there just this past weekend. I heard of some enforcement activity from TABC.
Our city manager for McAllen, Isaac DeWheel, he runs the show at City Hall. You personally sign all the paychecks, right? At City Hall for everybody.
Every single one of them, Sergio.
Oh, I remember this guy. Jose, he's been misbehaving. We'll put his check aside. Kidding.
We would never do that.
No, absolutely not. Construction numbers, very impressive. You mentioned some of the retail coming, so I would imagine.
Retail numbers are good. Residential construction numbers are up. Commercial construction numbers are up. I don't want to steal the mayor's thunder today. He's going to talk about those numbers in his speech in just about an hour and a half. Super proud of where this community is and where it's going.
Don't be afraid of him. He's a pussycat. He's very gentle.
Javier is a great leader, and today is his day, so we're going to let him have it.
City of McAllen. Was that a threat? Oh, no, let him have his time.
Yes, no.
Have his time.
You can read that however you want.
There you go, Fred. There's a headline for next hour. City manager Ike DeWheel saying, Javier Villalobos, he's going to get it. Actually, he said he's going to have it. Anyway, U-Haul, one-way trucks, one of the big headlines of late we're very proud of, naming Brownsville, McAllen, top 10 destination point, where they leave the U-Haul trucks here. They're moving.
Largest indicator of what I was telling you and what supports those construction numbers. That is, people are coming here. It's a one-way move. They're coming here and they're staying here, and we welcome them to this community.
What can you tell us about and I asked our engineer about this, the former reservoir, the buoy project near the airport? I see out the freeway one big swimming pool. I don't know if it's a swimming pool or not, but beautiful development. The Phallic family at 10th and the Expressway, we're telling me off there, they're going vertical this year.
City Center at the
City
corner.
Center is the Phallic
City Center
property.
is the name of the project at the corner of 10th and the Expressway. Michael Phallic is the master developer at that site. He's got a very, very powerful vision for what that corner is going to be. That corner is probably the best corner in McAllen, on the corner of 10th Street and the Expressway. We're looking forward. He's got some plans to see that project going vertical in the next several months. And his vision for what that is going to be is something that the city is very excited about. Bowie is moving along. We're not as far down the road with that project as City Center is with it, but we have entered negotiations with a master developer, and that mixed-use development is going to be another tremendous asset for the city.
There we go. The developer is already up and running. You have chosen who develops.
We're in negotiations with the responsible bidder that the city commission authorized us to move forward with. So fine-tuning that plan, understanding what that plan looks like, understanding how that plan will be executed in conjunction with local developer participation. So we've had several meetings with him, and we're looking forward to finalizing a contract to move forward in the coming months.
Yet another destination point for the McAllen area. Isaac Tawil, our city manager for McAllen. We're broadcasting from the McAllen Convention Center. The Sergio Show is the leading program to our State of the City in McAllen, as our mayor, Javier Villalobos, will be addressing folks here. Tell me, without telling me much more, just tell me we're still in the running. South where? We've talked about this with Mr. Spalmer a couple of times. Tell me we're still in the running for that amazing project that we're hoping
we are still very much in the running for a very large industrial manufacturing project coming to McAllen. I will tell you, it is not a microchip manufacturer or some of these projects that have concerned some of the community. It will be the single largest industrial development in McAllen. In fact, in Hidalgo County.
Nice.
And we will be very, very proud to announce that and several other projects after State of the City as we roll out some more surprises for the community. The mayor is going to spread out some of the good news this year because there are just some really, really big things coming.
I will save the whole Mexico City connection for our airport director, who's coming up in just a few minutes.
Sure.
It's good to hear, though. I'll tease it with this. Good to hear that there's demand on the ground for that direct Mexico City flight.
There is demand on the ground. There's demand on both sides of the border for that connectivity. Jeremy can talk about what's going on there, and the mayor will have a lot to say about exciting things happening at the airport. I think the community is going to get to see some imagery of what the airport is going to look like in the next 2 to 3 years, and it's really, really exciting.
Where does McAllen grow from here? We got Tres Lagos, we got a lot of land for the county just east of there. And where do we grow from this point?
You've got City Center coming in, you've got the Bowie development coming in, you've got Tres Lagos out there. There is plenty of land to develop to the northwest. A&M, I've got to mention our educational partners.
Yes, sir.
As we continue to grow, supporting those educational partners is going to be critical. So South Texas College, UTRGV, A&M has huge plans for what their campus is going to look like here in McAllen in the very near future. Ernie Aliceda, who's out there, and Chad Wooten from A&M, who will be here today, are amping up the projects that are there, but professional engineering programs, veterinary programs, nursing programs. A&M's campus is going to be a very, very large and much needed addition to what McAllen will offer to support the industry, both retail and industrial, that we see coming here.
As a result of the amazing growth in the economy, the Port of Brownsville, all these projects that they have, and just on the horizon, wow, really? Us? And of course, our neighbors, Elon Musk at SpaceX. Is there a growing synergy between Brownsville and McAllen, Cameron County, Hidalgo County?
We are very fortunate to have two mayors who understand the value of collaboration. Mayor Cowan in Brownsville, Mayor Villalobos in McAllen get along really well. And we are supportive of what Brownsville is doing, and we know Brownsville is supportive of what we are doing. So the answer to your question, I'm in a roundabout way telling you there absolutely is, and there's going to have to be. As we see the SpaceX program grow and evolve, we know that there will be manufacturing opportunities, supply chain opportunities that are going to be needed all along this border region for projects like that to be successful. And likewise, The Port of Brownsville will be important to bringing in the raw materials necessary for projects we have happening in McAllen to be successful. So those synergies are critical to sustaining the growth that we're seeing not only in Hidalgo County and McAllen, but also Brownsville and Cameron County.
We hear the war drums. We hear the echoes. Perhaps one MSA sometime in the future, RGV MSA.
Hopefully during my tenure. I would love nothing more than that.
I thank you for allowing us to be here today. It's an honor, and thanks for the update. We'll see you in a couple of weeks, Lord willing.
I hope so. Thank you, Sergio. Y'all have a wonderful day.
Isaac Zawil, our city manager for the city of McAllen. Special edition, an Ambassador Series edition of the Sergio Show on Newstalk 710 KURV. Again, thank you to our daily supporters on the program, South Texas Buick GMC and Lone Star National Bank.
South Texas Buick GMC celebrates 20 years with you, and we're going to celebrate big. Drive a 2026 GMC Sierra for only $99 per month, or get into a 2026 Buick Encore GX for $145 per month. GMC, we are professional grade. Visit us at southtexasgmc.com or schedule your test drive at 661-5000. Take the Sherry Road exit, celebrating 20 years with you. South Texas Buick GMC, not the biggest, just the best.
My name is Sergio Sanchez. I'm a Republican. I'm running for House District 41. I'm happy to announce I just received the highest possible rating from the NRA Political Victory Fund, a grade of AQ. I'm the only candidate on either side to even receive a grade at all, much less the highest rating. Please go to my site, sergiofortexas.com, for more on my platform, including that I speak boldly on my pro-life stance. You can read about my concrete plans to lower our property taxes. Please remember to vote in the Republican primary, paid for by the Sergio Sanchez campaign.
Why'd I go to the doctor? Working on the farm, my heart kept skipping a beat. I didn't think much of it, but my daughters made me get checked out. Turns out I have atrial fibrillation, which increases the risk of stroke about 5 times.
Symptoms like irregular heartbeat, heart racing, chest pain, shortness of breath, fatigue, or lightheadedness can come and go. But if it's AFib, the risk of stroke remains. If you have symptoms, contact a doctor.
I'm so glad I did.
Visit notimetowait.com. Sponsored by Bristol-Myers Squibb and Pfizer.
Don Huffines is a successful businessman who stands with President Trump to enforce our immigration laws and put Texas first. As a senator, Don Huffines exposed a multi-million-dollar government corruption scandal and sent 6 crooks to prison for stealing our tax dollars. As our comptroller, Don Huffines will bring a private sector mindset to government. He'll doge waste, fraud, and abuse, eliminate all taxpayer-funded benefits to illegal aliens, and abolish every woke DEI program in every government agency in Texas. Don Huffines is the only Trump Republican running for Texas comptroller. That's why he's endorsed by Senator Ted Cruz and every major conservative group in Texas, including Texas Right to Life and Gun Owners of America. Don Huffines, the Trump Republican for comptroller.
Political ad paid for by the Don Huffines campaign.
Covering the Valley and the entire world on the World Wide Web. Log on KURV.com. News Talk 710 KURV.
State of the City for the city of McAllen. And on this special day, we're blessed to be with our family in McAllen at the gorgeous McAllen Convention Center. And the theme for this year is Aquí se vive mejor. As some of the güeritos will probably say, what is that? Life is better here in McAllen. Aquí se vive mejor. Yajaira Flores. What is your title? You've been working, directing operations here at the Convention Center for a long, long time. What's the official title?
Director of Convention Facilities.
Okay. So this, for some reason, I don't know, maybe it's the other events that I've been to of like, I forget how big the Convention Center is. We have a new feature this year for some of the, you said diamond sponsors, right? It's the big tables as well.
Right.
This has been sold out for a while.
We've been sold out for quite a while. This is really one of our favorite events here at the Convention Center. We really get to showcase what we do from a culinary perspective and also from a size and the venue perspective. So there's a lot that we could do here in our exhibit halls. Of course, our exhibit halls are just one piece of the Convention Center. We have our meeting rooms or ballrooms as well. And we get to put it all on display here at the State of the City.
Showcasing the culinary offerings. So what type of chicken do we have today? It's always chicken, right? Or do we have steak today on the menu? Do you know?
No, actually, since Mayor Villalobos has been mayor, we have not offered chicken for the state of the city. We are in for a treat. I think that we're going to have a really nice
lobster. Short rib. Okay, I thought
a really nice short rib, and really the team has done such a fantastic job with the different proteins. It's not easy to cater meat for over 1,000 people, and our culinary team is just fantastic. They have records. They like to beat the record every single time during State of the City, dropping over 1,000 plates in less than 18 minutes. And so really, it's really a treat to see the army of our culinary team come out and serve our patrons in our community.
There probably is a Guinness World Record on 1,000 guests and how many minutes you can serve. We probably should do like a race one of these days. Maybe hit the Guinness World Record.
I'll let you know at the end what their time was.
Haida Foda, she's the chief here at the gorgeous McAllen Convention Center. And I was talking with her off air, the reality of today compared to just a few years back during COVID. She reminded me, I forgot about this. You guys were set up to provide medical services during COVID back in 2020.
Yes, we were an acute center for COVID. We're a COVID hospital here in this exhibit hall.
Wow.
It was crazy times. We were proud to be able to serve our community in a different capacity and be able to serve our community in that way. On the road to recovery, we were also a vaccine clinic, being able to have vaccines for thousands and thousands of people here at the convention center as well. And one of the things that we talked about as we were doing it is that our staff, in a way, was trained to be able to queue patrons, to be able to control masses, and we were able to serve in that way during COVID as a hospital and also as a vaccine center for the entire community, and that's something that we will forever be proud of. It's not just big shows and big dinners or big lunches like we see today, but also being able to serve in the different capacities because we do have this mass building in the center of the city.
If you look at 2025 as a pie and the type of work that the convention center did in McAllen, let's say regional conventions for trade groups and other organizations versus concerts versus expos, things like that. So how do you split the pie in 2025 and where do you grow in 2026?
We hit record-breaking numbers in terms of conventions. I think at one point, we had 1 or 2 conventions coming per year, and our Convention and Visitors Bureau team that's led by the McAllen Chamber of Commerce is doing such a fantastic job in terms of conventions. We had over 10 conventions last year. These are statewide conventions with people coming from all over to our venue. And so when we do these types of events, beyond just the residents of the Rio Grande Valley, what we're realizing is that those people stay in our hotels, they eat at our restaurants, they shop at our shopping destinations, and the multiplier effect in terms of the economic impact is huge for our community. So we like to bring in those regional, those statewide, international conventions to come to the area to showcase McAllen. And what we're also starting to see is that we're growing as a tourism destination in terms of arts and culture as well.
Yeah.
We have a lot of data with Ticketmaster that showcases where people are coming from, and that number is growing. So before it was people from McAllen, Mission, Bar, Edinburgh, but what we're starting to see is that it's becoming a lot more regional, and for a lot of our bigger events, we see people traveling over 50 miles plus to come to the events that we have here.
Okay.
And of course, they have to stay at our hotels, they eat at our restaurants, and the trickle effect is just phenomenal. So what we're seeing is that 30% of our patrons are traveling 50 miles plus to come to the events that we have here. And that includes the convention center and the performing arts center, the whole complex, and the special events here that we do as well.
Between conventions and the special events, what would you say, 50-50? Maybe conventions 70-30? Or what's the breakdown?
So we manage multiple spaces and buildings. We manage the convention center. We also manage the performing arts center, and we have the complex, which also features festivals. We have 500 events a year. Some of them are, if we do, it's a lot. Yeah. Some of them are small meetings, and then some of them are larger conventions.
I get it, from quinceañeras and things like that, right? Bigger events?
Right, exactly. Yeah. Concerts and whatnot. We have about 100 concerts that come in. In terms of conventions, we'll have anywhere between 10 and 15 conventions. These conventions, however, take up every square inch of the facilities. Yeah. And so they're huge in nature, and they're multi-day. So you'll have these events happening anywhere between 3 to 5 days here in our space. We have a lot of expos that have been with us since the beginning of the convention center that actually came from the old Civic Center on 10th Street, and we brought them and grew them, like the Hunters Expo. The old Civic Center was probably 20-something thousand square feet. The Hunters Expo is now taking every square inch of our 122,000 square foot convention center, and it's fantastic to see how that event has grown through the years, as well as the other events that we have here.
Yeah, Haida Flores, she's the chief. She's managing our convention center in McAllen between conventions and special events. In 2026, the active recruitment for these events? Are you targeting more regional conventions? Because the way the economy is changing, my goodness.
Right.
We have everything, Brownsville, the port, and high tech around here, all those things, offers us a possibility for folks from those different trades and everything that branches from them. Come on down to the Valley, come on down to McAllen and hold your regional or maybe state or, I don't know, maybe national convention.
National conventions, we have a few national conventions as well. The recruitment efforts are phenomenal. I think that the team that we have at the Convention and Visitors Bureau, they're knowledgeable. They don't sell just the brick and mortar. They don't sell just the space, which is, what we see here. They're selling the destination and they're selling the experience. And what we have here in our region is something that's different. And that's what we're selling. We're selling that unique experience of being in McAllen and what the culinary scene looks like and what the vibrancy of our city and our destination looks like. We don't realize what we have here. I think that, I just talked to somebody that came down and moved down from Anheuser-Busch in Philadelphia, and he was saying, people are just so nice. People are so nice in McAllen. It is different than, being in Philadelphia or any other city. We have a very vibrant, nice community, people that are willing to help, and that's what we're showcasing, right? The entire experience of being in a destination like McAllen.
Yeah. I'll try to keep those people you're referring to away from my producer, Fred Cruz. He's not very nice. He's a bad dude. But otherwise, we'll be okay. Thank you for hosting us today. Appreciate you. Good luck with the Taste event.
Thank you for everything, and thank you for always promoting the things that we do here in McAllen.
Absolutely.
We appreciate it.
Yeah, Haida Flores, she's the director of our McAllen, beautiful, big McAllen Convention Center. The time is 10:35. The Sergio Show on News Talk 710 KURV. Thank you to our daily supporters, Lone Star National Bank, South Texas Buick GMC. We're broadcasting from the McAllen Convention Center. Lead-in program to the McAllen State of the City. Got 1,000-plate lunch coming up, and hundreds and hundreds of folks headed this way to the convention center. Well, take your time, be careful. We'll see you here. Thank you for joining us on News Talk 710 KURV, The Sergio Show.
We know your business needs more than just advertising. It needs results. At 710 KURV, we connect your brand with the right audience, the ones who actually buy. We offer powerful radio stations, active social media, streaming, digital products, fun promotions, and local influencers that truly connect with your customers. We're the most recognized and effective radio and multimedia group in the Rio Grande Valley and Northern Mexico. Call 956-992-8895 or visit radiounited.com.
The true meaning of caring is feeling and showing concern, compassion, and kindness for others. It's been said, there is no exercise better for the heart than reaching down and lifting people up. At McCaleb Funeral Home, it's what drives us.
Hi, I am Carla McCaleb. Along with my husband Mark and our caring staff, we know we are in the healing business because we hear it from families we serve. Please read our reviews about our life celebrations and fair and transparent prices for unmatched service, and how we lift people up with our healing care and compassion, celebrating lives since 1963.
The Valley's only life celebration home. To learn more about the choices you can make now so a future funeral becomes more of a celebration of life, call Carla at 956-650-2841, 956-650-2841, or visit their website, McCalebFuneralHome.com.
I'm Lieutenant Governor Dan Patrick. For the past decade, I was the leading voice in passing school choice. I never gave up. And in 2025, we passed the largest school choice plan in America. I also passed a law requiring that school locker rooms, showers, restrooms, and private spaces be restricted to only one gender to keep your daughter safe. Now, parents are back in control of their children's education.
Lieutenant Governor Dan Patrick, keeping Texas the most conservative state in America.
When President Obama wouldn't do his job, I was the first state leader to ensure Texas had state troopers on the southern border.
Lieutenant Governor Dan Patrick is the driving force behind the Texas legislature that makes laws from conservative ideas, and Patrick has made Texas the most conservative state in America. Donald Trump has given Lieutenant Governor Dan Patrick his endorsement, saying Dan Patrick is a true MAGA Republican.
I am giving him my complete and total endorsement.
Political ad paid for by Texans for Dan Patrick.
Texas Republicans. President Trump has been betrayed by failed politician Mayra Flores. Listen for yourself.
President Trump, McPlanium, mistakes. President Trump, McPlanium, mistakes.
Mayra Flores keeps running for Congress and losing, underperforming President Trump. Now records reveal why. Mayra Flores has been caught in a scheme paying herself and family over $150,000 with campaign funds, enriching herself at South Texas expense. Betrays Trump, enriches herself? We can't trust failing Mayra Flores. That's why President Trump has endorsed conservative fighter Eric Flores, an Army infantry captain. Eric Flores fought for his country, took on the cartels as a federal prosecutor, and Eric never backs down from a fight. Trump gives Eric his complete and total endorsement. Trump said Eric's an America First patriot who will secure the border, champion law enforcement, and who will never let you down.
I'm Eric Flores, and I approve this message.
Paid for by Eric Flores for Congress.
Questions about youth or high school sports? Positive Coaching Alliance can help. PCA, a national nonprofit organization, develops better athletes and better people through youth and high school sports. Info at positivecoach.org.
Fox News, I'm Therese Crowley. Attorney General Pam Bondi on Capitol Hill to testify says she cannot comment on the Nancy Guthrie kidnap status or the FAA closing the airspace over El Paso for 10 days, an order suddenly lifted. But an administration official tells Fox Mexican cartel drones breached U.S. airspace. The Department of War disabled the drones. There is now no threat to commercial travel. As FBI agents follow up thousands of tips on the Guthrie surveillance video, an Arizona delivery driver was detained with a court-ordered search of a home in Rio Rico, Arizona, and released. The man named Carlos tells Fox's Matt Finn.
Until right now, all I know is that they show my in-law a picture of somebody wearing a mask or something, and they supposedly look like my eyes.
And TMZ says it got another bizarre email claiming to know who the kidnapper is, but they want a Bitcoin. America's listening to Fox News.
Your 710 KURV AccuWeather forecast, mostly sunny skies, highs of 84 to 89. Will be clear tonight, lows in the mid-60s. Tomorrow, sunshine and warm again, highs in the mid to upper 80s. The wind picks up on Friday, partly sunny, highs 82 to 87. Will approach 90 in some areas over the weekend. I'm AccuWeather meteorologist Bill Daker on the Valley's official weather station, 710 KURV.
Broadcasting from the Valley's commercial and fleet headquarters studio at PayneAutoGroup.com. You're listening to News Talk 710 KURV. The Sergio Show with Sergio Sanchez. Rapid fire headlines.
Today's program broadcasting from the McAllen Convention Center. We are here as a lead-in to the McAllen State of the City speech coming up at noon. You guys driving to the McAllen Convention Center, you guys take your time, be careful. Look forward to seeing you here. And thank you so much to all the gang at City Hall for allowing us to be here with you today. Let's take a look at some of the news. So the flood, literally the human tsunami, the flood of illegal immigration under the Biden administration. Well, that is gone. It's down to a trickle. The head of Customs and Border Protection, they were out with some new numbers for the southwest border. So Commissioner Rodney Scott was before lawmakers yesterday saying that the number used to 90,000 illegal aliens that they caught last year. 90,000. And by the way, they had a few numbers in January that they were dealing. But anyway, 90,000 represented the total for like 90,000 in 1 month. Is a trickle compared. The daily number, 250 illegals that are taken into custody by Border Patrol. Now it's 250 daily on the entire southwest border compared to 5,000 daily under the Biden administration. An interesting related note, this from California, or as I lovingly refer to them, California. Check this out from LA. and everybody's favorite incompetent Mayor Karen Bass. Immigration Customs Enforcement will no longer be allowed to stage on Los Angeles city property. Mayor Karen Bass signed an executive directive yesterday prohibited federal immigration agents from using city-owned or controlled property. Oh, and she doesn't stop there. Check this out. She instructed LAPD to take video, take evidence for any of this that needs to be reported in the future, and also directed city planning department officials to prepare an ordinance to impose fees on private property owners who give site control to federal agents. Man, wow, you just can't think stupid. Job growth was much stronger than expected to start the year. Latest numbers, 130,000 to start the year, twice as much as was expected. An important medical note, check this out. A new study showing that pregnant women taking daily aspirin prescribed during the first prenatal visit will reduce their chances of developing preeclampsia. Who wrote this? Let me see where it was. It was presented at a recent maternal fetal medicine pregnancy meeting took place in the Southwest. Here we go. It's 10:44. The Sergio Show on Newstalk 710 KURV. Freddie, did you want to pay some bills now or you want to wait until the end? Just text me real quick what you want to do in this segment. Let's see here. You want to pay some bills and then come on? Our guests are ready. Let's go pay some bills. Thank you, Freddie. We have about 15 minutes left on the program. The Sergio Show on Newstalk 710 KURV. We're broadcasting from the McAllen Convention Center. Lead-in program to today's State of the City address with our Mayor, Javier Villalobos. We'll be talking about parks and recreation, talking about our awesome McAllen Airport as well. That's next on the Sergio Show 710 KURV.
This is a fraud alert. It is a crime in Texas for a person to solicit an accident victim for purposes of legal representation. If you have not requested the call or personal visit, report this crime to the Texas Rangers.
Pizza's here. Oh, great. I'd love some, but I'm worried about my stomach issues.
If you're worried about having diarrhea, gas, bloating, stomach pain, or loose, oily stools, it may not just be stomach issues. It could be a condition called exocrine pancreatic insufficiency, or EPI. With EPI, the pancreas doesn't release enough enzymes to break down food, but EPI is manageable. Use the symptom checker on identifyepi.com and talk to your doctor. That's identifyepi.com. Sponsored by AbbVie.
Don Huffines is a successful businessman who stands with President Trump to enforce our immigration laws and put Texas first. As a senator, Don Huffines exposed a multi-million-dollar government corruption scandal and sent 6 crooks to prison for stealing our tax dollars. As our comptroller, Don Huffines will bring a private sector mindset to government. He'll doge waste, fraud, and abuse, eliminate all taxpayer-funded benefits to illegal aliens, and abolish every woke DEI program in every government agency in Texas. Don Huffines is the only Trump Republican running for Texas comptroller. That's why he's endorsed by Senator Ted Cruz and every major conservative group in Texas, including Texas Right to Life and Gun Owners of America. Don Huffines, the Trump Republican for comptroller.
Political ad paid for by the Don Huffines campaign.
The Friday Sergio Show at the Edinburgh Conference Center at Renaissance DHR campus, broadcasting from the inaugural RGVBusinessJournal.com Economic Outlook Luncheon. Join us as we hear from top leaders taking inventory of our region's economy and looking ahead to 2026.
Audio streaming on KURV.com. Powered by South Texas Buick GMC. McAllen Mission.
Thanking all of y'all for making us a part of your day. On the radio, 710 a.m. and also online, 710 KURV. Our producer Freddie will post us on our brand, 710 KURV Facebook and 710 KURV YouTube, Live, X Live, all that. You can go rewind and take a listen, a view of some of these conversations. We're broadcasting today's Ambassador Series from the McAllen Convention Center. We're a lead-in program to the McAllen State of the City address. Mayor Javier Villalobos will be talking to over 1,000 people showing up today for lunch. Okay, so let's feature our airport and our parks. So Jeremy Santoscoy, He's the leader of our airport, McAllen International Airport. I want to start this conversation with Denny McAllen, who is director. Denny, come up to the microphone, muchachos. Director for Parks and Recreation at our city?
Sir, that's correct.
Okay. I made an observation earlier this morning on the impressive use, from what I see in North McAllen, all those parks, all those soccer fields, man, every weekend, híjole, like people from Monterrey, for all of the kids playing soccer, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. That means shopping, that means hotel stay.
Right.
As well.
It's great, and those are just our local community coming out. We have over 15 associations that we work with that provide a service for our department. And what you see out on the weekends is just that. So it's a beautiful thing to see when you're driving around that, our parks and our facilities are packed.
Is that new, or we've been doing that for several years, filling up the parks on the weekend?
We've been doing that for as long as I've been here, right? But with
how long you been here?
I've been here coming up on 15 years. Yeah.
I just, for some reason, I never noticed. The parks are always full with soccer tournaments and kids tournaments.
And so, back in 2018, 2016, when the McAllen Sports Park was developed and opened, and then 2018 with the baseball complex.
Yeah.
The quality of life is our number one goal, right? And so city commission, the mayor, elected officials, that's their vision. And so once they provided us with the resources and the funding to build these, we want to make sure that we keep them filled.
Denny McAllen is Director of Parks and Recreation, City of McAllen. Have you guys at City Hall run a report on the economic impact of all these tournaments, soccer, softball, everything, all the sports that happens every weekend?
We do the major sports that come down. Sports tourism is something that we really pushing towards.
Mm-hmm.
And so, we do get these economic impact studies on those coming in on our hotels and restaurants. And so the city, we hosted our first two national qualifiers with pony baseball in November and December. And that brought about a $2 million impact to the city, both tournaments. And so we're looking at about 54 teams, some international teams coming from Mexico.
That's a lot of parents, a lot of Huercos coming to town.
And it's great, right? And so those are the partnerships we're trying to look for.
Nice.
Those are the tournaments that we're trying to bring down. And so coming up this, I just want to touch on real quick on the sports tourism aspect is that, big things are happening with Pony. The International Softball World Series is coming back, and the cities has hosted that one for 5 years now. We're looking into getting the Ponies Boys Travel World Series. First time that's going to be held. And so we're very excited about that. And then we got a big international flag football tournament coming this summer.
That is awesome.
So, this international flag football tournament, it's looking to bring teams from Mexico, Puerto Rico, and across Americas, right? And so we've got stakeholders worldwide that are trying to put this together for us, right? And so
is there a demand for, create more parks or more facilities? Because you got varied sports that complement each other, statewide tournaments. I know we did the games of Texas some years back, things like that. So is there more on the way, more park space?
I mean, we're looking at always expanding our green space, our facilities. And so looking forward into the future, that's what we're headed towards. And so, with the fields and amenities that we have now, first class, top tiered. And so we want to showcase that.
You mentioned three major events. Which, by the way, is the pony one that has a palito with a ball on top where the kids hit, or is that even smaller?
That's even smaller.
That's even smaller.
Yeah.
So on the pony, and then you mentioned two other major events. Ballpark figure top of mind. All three of them, each one. How many people come into town as a result of each one?
We did a study a couple of years ago on our complex, and the bigger complex, we're seeing over 540,000 people on a yearly basis come through our facilities. And that's our leagues, associations, tournaments. And so, you're looking over 1.5 million people throughout the whole year coming to our
And a lot of this is youth sports. Do you count the Huerquillos? Do you count the little kids too, or just the adults?
We count everybody, right? And so, that's a lot of people walking and coming through our facilities.
That's good.
It's
That's good. McAllen is a destination point. Absolutely. Denny McAllen, Parks and Recreation Director, City of McAllen. And Mayor Villalobos is going to be sharing more information on that and some of the growth and benefits on the economic side. tourism side. So Jeremy Santoscoy, likely, since he's directing the airport, McAllen International Airport, Jeremy, come up to the microphone, friend. More than likely, you get to see some of these parents in the Guajillo show up and then go to pick up their luggage, and the bag's full of bats and sticks and all that stuff. I would guess some of these folks are, a lot of these folks, especially far, far away, they're flying in to the airport. Some of the numbers that are really good at the airport.
Sergio, thank you for having me here today. Yes, absolutely. The sports tourism is a big deal for us here in McAllen.
Do me a favor, Jeremy. Get that microphone real close to you, because now we got a bunch of people here making noise. Okay, so come up real close to the microphone. Go ahead, brother.
Yeah. So sports tourism is a big deal, and to be able to support that with all those groups coming in from out of town, with outside of the area that have to fly in to attend these events is big. And so we support Denny and his efforts with the sports tourism here in the city of McAllen, and other regional events as well, the UTRGV sports events, the football. There's plenty of regional events that happen, not only here in the city of McAllen, which is very strong, but outside as well. So being able to participate in getting those people here is something that we hold close to us.
I want to say thank you to our McAllen International Airport for the benevolence and the charity that they provide. That so-called professional team from Dallas. You're making them look really good by having such an excellent operation, as is the McAllen Airport, making them look good, and trying to connect your name with them. Is that paying off in any way, Jeremy? Seriously, with the Cowboys?
Well, we do share, right? The Cowboys are the most valued team in football.
So they say. I need to check the statistics on
and
that.
So I think the McAllen International Airport being number one in the valley, I think, is kind of what we share, and so it's a big sports figure that it represents a lot of people here.
There is another professional team up in Houston, just in case you want to divide the billboard. They put some. I know they coughed up the ball too much in the playoffs, but hey, anyway,
we so love to them all.
Phoenix connection. When is that? The direct McAllen to Phoenix.
Yeah, so that starts June 4th. That'll be a daily leaving, early in the morning to hit all the Fort Banks coming out of Phoenix.
Who'd you say that was? American
Airlines.
American Airlines.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
That'll be coming out June 4th, and that'll not only just for Phoenix, which is we have a lot of O&D traffic going to Phoenix, but also beyond that for the West Coast connection from Seattle all the way down to LA. You'll hit those Fort Banks early in the morning to be able to get that more efficient travel to the west instead of flying into DFW.
Yes, sir.
Flying. So that makes the second hub that American has that McAllen will be connected to.
Yeah, we're always checking the weather. Jeremy Santoscoy, our director for McAllen International Airport, you'll see on our screen Denny Moline. He's the director of Parks and Recreation. Yeah, we're always checking the weather. Houston, Dallas in particular, especially around now when they shut down the airport, because it freezes, like snowflake. I gotta shut down everything down, because we all connect there. To have that Phoenix connection to the west is a blessing.
Absolutely. Absolutely, and it shows the confidence that a big legacy carrier like American has in McAllen.
Excellent.
And our regions.
Is there a business connection to this, a synergy? With Arizona getting so many, for example, high-tech computer chip firms, things like that, and the way that we're growing here, even on the high-tech side that's on the horizon for us, is there like a business connection there as well? International manufacturing, high-tech, big Arizona connecting to us, because they got all these computer chip.
Absolutely, and it's not only that, right? It's the leisure market. There's a lot to do. Sedona, there's different areas of Phoenix, the sports teams that they have. There's a lot of sports tourism over there as well. And then there's the heritage markets. That's a Latin community. So there's a lot of heritage markets there as well. So there's connections to Phoenix already.
10-4. 2025 at the airport, number of, folks, boardings, things like that. What were you reporting recently?
Yeah, so we actually, second time that we surpassed 1 million total travelers, only airport to do it in the Valley again.
What was, prior to last year, what was the last time we saw 1 million at the airport? Never? So last year was the first time.
2024 and 2025, are the recorded years that we had over 1 million. Last year, we recorded 1.14 million passengers passing through the airport. Again, we're the only airport that has gotten over 1 million total passengers. So we continue to try to support that growth, support the needs for the region as we continue to grow, to support things like the things that Danny's working on the sports tourism side, as well as the business side, which we're still very heavy on. And so, the family and friends, of course, leisure is another market.
Yeah, what the money-making potential, if you think about it, on the inside, the concourse inside the airport. I don't know, do like what Disney does. Set up one of those churro stands and sell them for $8 each. Man, we can make a killing at the airport. We can do a lot more at the airport. So,
well, the concessions is part of the business.
Yeah.
Well,
thanks for the update. Look forward to seeing you again in a few weeks, Lord willing. We'll see what's going on a quarterly basis. Jeremy, good to talk to you again, brother.
Thank you, Sergio.
And big thank you to Denny Meline as well. Jeremy Santoscoy for our McAllen International Airport, Denny Meline with Parks and Recreation. And we look forward for updates in the near future. Thank you, muchachos, for being on the show. This is the Sergio Show on Newstalk 710 KURV. Again, a very big thank you to the hourly supporters at our bank. Thank you to Lone Star National Bank. Big thank you to South Texas Buick GMC. And join us online, the YouTube and the Facebook and X. You go back, do a rewind, and catch all these conversations. From the McAllen Convention Center, Sergio Sanchez, 710 KURV. Happy Wednesday.
History is unfolding, and you're listening to it on